All right, so now we are approaching the last passage, which is the dual passage of the SAT reading. Let me tell you right now, don't get nervous because of the dual passage. It's not harder than any of the regular passages. We pretty much do the same thing, with the only exception is we focus on passage one first. We don't have to read both passages. First, we read passage one while we do the passage one questions. Then we'll focus on passage two and do the passage two questions. And then lastly, the questions at the end will focus on both passage one and passage two, which we'll do at the end. So really, the strategy we use is pretty much the same with just a few caveats. So the first thing first, we always just read the blurb, and we can just read that. So let's read that right now. Passage one is adapted from Michael Slezak, Space Mining, The Next Gold Rush, blah, blah, blah. Passage two is from the editors of The New Scientist, Taming the Final Frontier. So it doesn't really give us much, but we know that these passages are probably going to be about space mining. Great. Now let's read the first paragraph of passage one. Since the first paragraph is actually just 3 lines, so I'm actually going to read the first and second. So up lines 1 through lines 8. So lines 1 through 8, and then I'm going to summarize in a couple words. Follow the money and you'll end up in space. That's the message from a first of its kind forum on mining beyond Earth. Convened in Sydney by the Australian Centre for Space Engineering Research, the event brought together mining companies, robotic experts, lunar scientists, and government agencies that are all working to make space mining a reality. So basically, space mining could become a reality. Really doesn't say all that much. Now, if we look at the questions, the first questions 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 are all about passage one. So we can't really answer any questions just by reading 1 through 8. But if we look at number 42, it says in lines 9 through 17, the author of passage one mentions several companies, primarily to what? So let's just keep on reading from 9 through 17. In the back of our mind, let's think, okay, why is the author mentioning these companies? So starting from line 9. The forum comes hot on the heels of the 2012 unveiling of 2 private asteroid mining firms. Planetary Resources of Washington says it will launch its first prospecting telescopes in 2 years, while Deep Space Industries of Virginia hopes to be harvesting metals from asteroids by 2020. Another commercial venture that sprung up in 2012, Golden Spikes of Colorado, will be offering trips to the moon, including to potential lunar miners. Okay, so 9 through 17, why do they mention those companies? Again, don't jump to the answer choices. Let's answer it ourselves. Obviously, the companies are interested in space mining. Now let's go to the answer choices. So 42, A, B, C, D. Instead of picking the right answer, let's eliminate the wrong answers, the answers that are least like what we just said, that the companies are interested in space mining. Okay, so A, note the technological advances that make space mining possible. Nope, we didn't, doesn't say that there, and we said to show that these companies are interested in space mining. Nothing about noting the technological advances. B, provide evidence of growing interest in space mining. Yeah, the companies are interested in space mining. That's kind of like what we said. So let's keep that one. C, emphasize the large profits to be made from space mining. This is an interpretation trap. We could kind of say, okay, they're interested in space mining because they could probably make money from it, but it doesn't say anything specifically about profits. Remember, don't interpret. the right answer in the answer choices always has to be backed up by the text. And then D, highlight the diverse ways to carry out space mining operations. Doesn't say anything about that, so the answer is B. Now, let's look. 43. The author of passage 1 indicates that space mining could have which positive effect? And if we look at 44, it's probably going to be in one of these, 18 through 22, B, 24 through 28, 29 through 30, 41 through 44. Now this is pretty specific, but I'm going to start with 45 because I know it's going to be in line 19, and 46 because we know it's going to be in lines 35 through 40, and then we'll come back to this. So let's keep reading. So we've started off at 17, and then let's go to 18. Within a few decades, well, let's read 45 first. As used in line 19, demands most nearly means. So let's keep reading. Within a few decades, these firms may be meeting earthly demands for precious metals such as platinum and gold. So when you're asked to define a line or a word as used in line 19, pretend the word is a blank. So demands, don't read that and just say it's blank. Within a few decades, these firms may be meeting earthly blank for precious metals such as platinum and gold. So, and then let's come up with our own word. Earthly needs, maybe. Earthly wants. Requirements, something like that. Now let's go to the answer choices and eliminate the ones that are least like what we just said. Offers, no, that's not like needs or wants. Claims, not claiming anything. Inquiries, like making an inquiry, like asking a question, no. Desires, that's more like needs and wants and demands. So there we go. Now question 46 talks about lines 35 through 40. Again, all we're doing is like what we did in the last passages, just using the piece by piece method and just reading the passage in pieces and answering the questions. So we don't have to absorb too much. So let's keep reading where we left off. Within a few decades, these firms may be meeting earthly demands for precious metals, such as platinum and gold, and the rare earth elements vital for personal electronics, such as yttrium and lanthanum. But like the gold pioneers who transformed the western United States, the first space miners won't just enrich themselves, they also hope to build an off-planet economy free of any bonds with Earth, in which the materials extracted and processed from the moon and asteroids are delivered for space-based projects. Now we're getting into that question 35 through 40. We're getting close to it. And let's just read it on number 46. What function does the discussion of water in lines 35 through 40 serve in passage 1? So 35 through 40, where we're getting near it. So why is it talking about water? And then here's the paragraph before where we're going to read page basically 29 through 34. Let's keep reading. In this scenario, water mined from other worlds could become the most desired commodity. In the desert, what's worth more, a kilogram of gold or a kilogram of water? Asks Chris Zachney of Honeybee Robotics in New York. Gold is useless. Water will let you live. So this is saying water is valuable. Now let's see what 35 through 40 says. Water ice from the moon's poles could be sent to astronauts on the International Space Station for drinking or as a radiation shield. Splitting water into oxygen and hydrogen makes spacecraft fuel, so ice-rich asteroids could become interplanetary refueling stations. So it's giving different evidence or examples about how water is valuable. So 29 through 34 is saying, hey, water is valuable. It's more valuable than gold. And the next paragraph, 35 through 40, is giving examples about why water is so valuable. So let's go to the answer choices and look at and start eliminating. A, it continues an extended comparison that begins in the previous paragraph. There is no continued comparison. It does compare it to gold in the previous paragraph, but it doesn't keep comparing it, so that's not, and it's not what we said. That wasn't our answer. B, it provides an unexpected answer. I don't see any unexpected answers. That's something that we'd have to interpret. Otherwise, it would have to say unexpected answer. And then to a question raised in the previous paragraph. There was no question raised in 29 through 34. C, it offers hypothetical examples supporting a claim made in the previous paragraph. Well, the claim was water's valuable, and then it does give examples, hypothetical examples. So let's keep this one. D, it examines possible outcomes of a proposal put forth. Was there a proposal made in this paragraph? Any proposal here? No. So the right answer is C. Now let's finish up reading passage 1. We just have lines 41 through 45. Companies are eyeing the iron, silicon, and aluminum and lunar soil and asteroids, which could be used in 3D printers to make spare parts or machinery. Others want to turn space dirt into concrete for landing pads, shelters, and roads. So we finished that. We just have to go back to 43 and 44, which we've pretty much read everything. So 43, the authors of passage 1 indicate that space mining could have which positive effects? Let's look at 18 through 22. We know where to read. So sorry, I have Alexa talking. Let's turn her off. So let's look at 18 through 22. The author of passage 1 indicates that space mining could have which positive effect? So reading 18 through 22, within a few decades, these firms may be meeting earthly demands for precious metals such as platinum and gold, and the rare elements vital for personal electronics such as yttrium and lanthanum, whatever. So that is a positive effect, getting precious materials for consumer products for Earth to build electronics and stuff like that. Let's see if that is in the answer choices for 43. Again, let's eliminate the ones that don't make sense. So A, B, C, D. It could yield materials important to Earth's economy. That's kind of like what we said. So let's keep that one. B, it could raise the values of some precious metals on Earth. Doesn't say that. We didn't read that anywhere. C, it could create unanticipated technological innovations. Doesn't say that. It could change scientists' understanding of space resources. Doesn't say that. So A is most like what we just said. Could meet the demands of precious metals such as platinum and gold, and rare elements vital for personal electronics. And then 44 says, where's the proof? And that was where it was A, lines 18 through 22. So we just did problems 42 through 46, again, we just focused on passage 1. Starting in 47, it moves to passage 2. So in the next video, we're going to be focusing on passage 2, and we're going to be doing the same thing, reading passage 2 in chunks and answering the questions. So I'll see you there.